Johannesburg played host once again to the Africa Rail exhibition, bringing together continental and international rail service providers. This year's highlight saw the inclusion of new partners in East Africa.
We've just recently launched our regional East Africa Rail conference and exhibition. So bringing in a regional complement to our rail portfolio and being able to narrow our efforts on a particular region in Africa that has supported our main Africa Rail event for many, many years. The partnership originally started with our main partner, Rift Valley Railways, and we're currently communicating with the Kenya Railway Corporation, talking to Tazara, talking to the governments of each of the main East African countries, and really wanting to bring a focus on the projects and the development that's going on in that region, and being able to take the business opportunity that we've developed at Africa Rail, which is the main continent-wide event, and then taking those key stakeholders to the East African region to access those opportunities and showcase their solutions and what they can offer to the region.
The challenges facing the rail industry as a whole in Africa are huge, but development in rail varies across the continent.
I think sadly the constant for Africa is the financing element. So really being able to find the right kind of finance, people who are willing to invest in infrastructure and see the potential of the continent. Though it might be long term, there are still elements of ROI, and then in turn with the conference being able to help a lot of the rail operators and project developers portray their ROI and meet the right kind of suppliers and investors that are here to be able to push forward with their projects.
It's been acknowledged by SADC that rail services are generally inefficient and are currently operating below capacity. SADC listed a lack of regional integration as one of the leading causes of inefficiency. Most experts have pointed out that in order for Africa to fully realize its own growth potential, there will have to be an improvement in intra-regional trade, which currently stands at a weak 18% when compared to the Americas' 40% and Europe's 54%. One does not have to be a genius to realize the important role that rail will play in deepening economic integration on the continent. Other challenges highlighted include aging rail infrastructure and equipment and poor maintenance of existing rail assets. However, transformation is on the cards. 2 years ago, the African Union decided that South Africa will become a hub for the manufacturing and supply of rail stock for Africa.
For a period of many years, there has never been an investment in rail. There has been a flight of skills in rail. This decision of the AU means that Prasa, as an agency of the Department of Transport, will ensure that we bring back skills that have been lost over the period, because right now we are engaging as Transnet and Prasa to ensure that we build a leadership academy which will churn leadership cadres, which will churn out technology people that will be able to ensure that we ensure that Africa does not miss the wave of rail engineering. And as we have just launched this GSMR technology, we want to ensure that we have the capability, the skills that will be residing in the continent.
Currently, South Africa's state-owned Prasa, responsible for most passenger rail services in the country, is in the midst of a massive rail revitalization program.
The 172 billion is comprised of three elements. One is, as you correctly have stated, the recapitalization of our fleet, which is the rolling stock. Then we have the signaling, which we are doing in the three regions, KZN, Western Cape, and here in Gauteng. and lastly, the modernization of stations. So the bulk of that 172 billion over the next 20 years will be a focus on that modernization. Where are we at with the factory? We will be launching it in October. The factory is currently under construction at Nigel in a town called Danota in Ekurhuleni. Of course, once that factory is launched in October, the first trains that will come out of that factory will be in the second half of the financial year 18-19. So we are having this contract with Gibela to produce about 600 coaches over the 10 years. And in another tranche, there will be another round of procurement for people to produce the other balance of the total of the coaches over the 20 years.
South Africa's state-owned Transnet is also considered a regional engineering leader in rail.
We have a footprint pretty much across, but mostly within the SADC. We have customers in Botswana. I'm sure you're aware that we did about 37 passenger coaches for them last year, Botswana Railways. Those were passenger coaches. We've made flatbed wagons and tanker wagons, the ones that are used to carry liquid for Swaziland Railways. We have customers in Zambia, in Namibia, so pretty much mostly SADC, but we are very much trying to penetrate the mid and also the Africa at large. I think there's so much capacity, we could do more. I think as Africans, we've just launched the first locomotive for Africa. We call it Trans-Africa Locomotive, and we're saying we do have the capacity. There's no point for us to rely on Europeans, on the Chinese, on the US, when there's so much capacity in Africa. So there is definite potential for growth, because it's not like they don't have this, we call it rolling stock. They are moving people and goods anyway. So what we need to do now is to encourage the talent and our capacity, but most importantly, the confidence from them to understand that we have all this capacity here, we can do things for them.
TAL was launched last year, researched, designed and manufactured by Africans for African Rail. The structural design caters for the aged legacy infrastructure with weight limitation. TAL is diesel-powered, ensuring regional accessibility where there are no electrical lines. It has a unique cabin design with front and rear-facing windows, allowing for movement in both directions. The manufacturing of TAL is considered as groundbreaking for Africa. Nashina Mohammed for Joburg Today.